Welcome to Watermark's Church Leadership Podcast, a conversation with church leaders for church leaders. And I'm your host, John McGee. Well, hey friends, I'm in the studio today by myself and wanted to record just a quick encouragement for you. So just like you, we finished up Easter. The team has been really busy there. Now sights are set on CLC and the staff is finishing up our preparation to host many of you here in 2 weeks. And we're so excited. So I wanted to leave you some quick thoughts today, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks with some content that will be a continuation of CLC. And I'm really, really excited about that. So recently, I had an opportunity to do a talk for some mental health professionals. And these are not a group of people that I normally run with or interact with, speak to, but they asked me to speak about innovation and resilience. So, kind of reflecting back on Watermark's history, what were the things that we did that brought about kind of innovation at the church level, at some of our resource level, and then how do you kind of keep going? So when you're discouraged or when you want to quit, it's not moving as fast as you wanted to, how do you kind of keep moving? So that was a talk. It was, honestly, it was a ton of fun to both put together and to deliver. But here was my favorite part. Is it forced me to look back over the history of Watermark, over some of the things that I've been involved with in my own personal leadership. And something that just popped off the page to me, it was so clear as I looked back, was just this idea that all along the way, we had everything we needed to glorify God. That is, as we know, the chief end of man, the Westminster Confession. Why are we here? We are here to glorify God. And the second one was we had everything we needed, or better said, probably I had everything I needed to have joy. So I think as leaders in the moment, when we are working on something, when we're trying to drive something, when we're trying to bring about a vision that we have in our heads and our hearts so that others share with us, we think that we just need something else to be effective, to somehow really thrive, to somehow really glorify God. And my reflection back on 25 years here at Watermark was that we needed nothing that we didn't have. That to glorify God, we had everything we needed. And I think, honestly, friends, it's the same for you. And so I wanted to share just, a couple kind of tangible ways I thought about that, and then tell you why I wanted to share that with you today. So looking back, I remember thinking, boy, if we just had a little bit more money. So that's both personally, John and Pam and our family, if we just had more money, we could give more, we could do more things, we could prepare ourselves, we could, whatever. Somehow we would be more effective. Somehow we could glorify God more. And then as a church, God blessed us in incredible ways around here at Watermark. It really is astounding. And yet I remember thinking, well, if we just had a little bit more money, we could do X. And as I looked back on the whole history of our run here, which was so fun, I realized that we needed no more money than the money that God had given us to glorify Him, to be as effective as He wanted us to be in this city. And I remember wasting calories thinking things would be better if we had more money. I don't know that that's actually the case. So money is one of those. Always staffing is one. Every leader thinks, they need 25 to 50% more staff or 100% more staff. I always feel like if I just had more people, then we could do more stuff. We could be more effective. We could move faster. And that might be true. But as I reflect back, boy, it's something that was just so clear to me was we had exactly the number of people we needed to glorify God. Like we could be faithful. We could steward the moment well with the people that we had. And I wasted calories thinking about what if, and that if I just had this one person, then there would be joy. And that's just wasn't the case. Another one was facilities. We have such a funny history with facilities around here. As our at the beginning of our story, we moved around a lot. We were a bit kind of nomadic. We were a bunch of hermit crabs looking for empty shells. And one of our sayings was, hey, we're a great church if you can find us. And we were just always on the move. Every month we were moving around. And we ended up spending most of our time at a high school. It was kind of this, high school, what would you think about a traditional auditorium, which sets up really well for, for Sunday mornings. The kids met in science classrooms with beakers that we had to kind of quadrant off. The whole thing was kind of crazy. And what would happen is every Sunday you'd walk in and you really didn't know what was going to be there. So there might be construction going on. Sometimes the heat didn't work. Sometimes the AC didn't work. Sometimes the power would cut off during the middle of a service. And most famously, one time we walked in and the drama department was doing a play on Anne Frank. Great story. Well, some of the props had Nazi paraphernalia on them, which would absolutely be germane to that story, but were not very palatable to a Sunday morning audience as we thought about worshiping and teaching God's word. The whole thing was just a little crazy. And I thought, well, and we had people say, hey, if you guys just had a building, then you'd be a real church. And honestly, I don't know that we needed anything else to glorify God. And God gave us exactly what we needed. And even when we moved into this property, beautiful piece of property, beautiful buildings, we wanted to build it all at one time. And God gave us the money that he gave us, and we had to build it kind of sequentially, which created all kinds of logistical issues. We had kids meeting in our office tower, which meant kids were meeting on first, second, third, fourth, and actually fifth floors as well. So on a Sunday morning, you've got kids and parents going up and down stairs. The whole thing was a mess. Parking has always been a disaster here because we are kind of surrounded by a highway, a 8 to 10 lane highway. We don't have parking on the north side or really even the east side. So we have parking kind of on 2 or 1.5 sides. And I've thought before, God, if we just had 360 parking, we could reach more people. We could be more effective in many respects. We could glorify God more. And it's just not the case, friends. So we could go on for several different categories. Think education, think about contacts, think about networks, think about experience, beforehand, wishing you had done these things before. Didn't need any of that. Didn't need any of that to glorify God. And then I guess I'd close this with is most leaders I know struggle with some version of what I really needed to do was turn left at this juncture in my life, and instead I turned right. And because I didn't turn left, I'm here on this other path, and I think had I taken a left turn and done whatever the opposite of this one is, then I'd be set up much, much better to glorify God. And that is just not the case. I started my day yesterday with a young leader who was just angsty as I think is oftentimes appropriate for young leaders. And he just said, this is the thing I struggle with. This is a constant turning over in my head. Did I make the wrong choice? Did would things be better if I had done something else? And I just told him, hey, 2 things. One, you're right on time. That's what young leaders do. You're not crazy. All the noise in your head, that is what happens at your age. And so just know that you don't have any condition that is unique to you. But 2, as someone who's been there before, I just want you to know that I think you actually have every single thing you need right now. There's nothing else that needs to happen for you to glorify God. And I think you can find great joy if you'll just settle down in that and look to steward the opportunity in front of you. So that idea is all over Scripture. I think about 2 Corinthians 9:8, and God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having what you need, you'll be able to abound in every good work. You've got what you need to be faithful to glorify God. And I just had a funny thought about Paul recently. This isn't in the Scriptures, but I was just wondering that would Paul have struggled with this? If I was Paul and I was walking between cities at times, trying to plant churches and trying to get this whole thing going throughout the Mediterranean, I would have thought, I think, God, had you made me a disciple, this whole thing would have been easier. So I could have actually heard the words of Jesus, been there. I'm a smart guy. I could have taken notes. I could have known how to repackage his thoughts in a palatable way to a Roman audience, or just kind of all around the world here. And two, like relationally, like me and Peter, we wouldn't be at odds. I spent so much time kind of wrangling with Peter. We could have been friends. We could have shared meals. We could have climbed mountains and had this relational cohesion, and I wouldn't have had to fight with him. And then three, we could have like strategized together. So, we could have kind of thought about the spread of the gospel had we all been together. And instead, God didn't have that for Paul. And rather than, needing to prepare him side by side with Jesus, he had another plan, and God prepared him. In this gap between Paul's call and his ministry, God gave him everything he needed to glorify God. And so, friends, I just wanted to encourage you with that. But why? One, I needed to remind myself of that. I needed to remind myself that I don't need anything else right now. And I caught myself this morning thinking, if I just had this thing, if this would just move, then I would be effective. Not true. I can be effective right now. I need to remind myself of that. And then two, I have everything I need to have joy right now. And I do think James 1:2, I love the word consider, or in some translations, count it pure joy. Like you decide that it is pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, or you just don't get what you want, or at the speed that you want, or the people that you want. You just decide to have joy. And if I could look back, I would have had more joy in all the things that I had, the opportunities I had, the fruit that I was seeing, and I wouldn't have been so angsty. And that is my own self-leadership. I'm trying to be grateful for what I have, then knowing that I don't need anything else to glorify God. And then two, I want to make sure that I've got joy in this season, not some future far off land or alternate universe. Right now, I can have joy. And friends, I think the same for you. You have everything you need to glorify God. You don't need another resource, another person, another check, another building. You can glorify God right now, and you can have joy today, right now. When you stop listening to this podcast, you can choose to have joy, which is a gift to give yourself. And it's such a gift as a leader to give others. The people want to serve. They want to give their lives alongside of people who have joy. And you can choose that right now. You don't need anything else to happen. So friends, thanks so much for listening. Look forward to seeing many of you very, very soon here on this campus. And as always, if you have ideas for future episodes, ways we can help you, anything that we could do to serve you, we would love to know. You can always reach us at clp@watermark.org. That's clp@watermark.org. We'll talk to you again next time.